Okay, so you guys know that the Army has its 250th birthday coming up here on Saturday, which is Flag Day. I didn't realize that the Army's birthday was on Flag Day, but coincidentally enough, that's actually when I had enlisted and signed up. My very first day of signing up in the Army on my contract was June 14th of 2018. And when I flew out, my very first day of reception and basic training was July 3rd into July 4th. So I got there at like 9 at night on July 3rd and got my stuff. And then July 4th, I saw that PT formation, Independence Day, and lost my freedom in basic training in 2018. Do I regret it? No, I don't. And I'm going to tell you why here in this following video of everything that's going on right now. But before I get into that, I want to tell you the Army actually had put out an advertisement, and on the flatbed rail car, it said hang Fauci and Bill Gates. And now, as a response, they've taken that video down now that it's been made aware to them. InfoWars with Alex Jones put it out there, and then it went on a couple other sites. I'm going to put it here for you guys as well so you know what we're talking about. But the Army came out and said, under a spokesperson, well, that's not their values, obviously. Well, somebody put the graffiti on there, and it happened to make it into that commercial. So take that for whatever you will. But just know that there are people who do care, and I don't regret my service. I signed up on the Army's birthday, and I don't know what I'm going to do on the Saturday for the birthday. We're actually coming home from the field on that day. Coincidentally enough, I don't know how it all works out like this, but it does. But anyway, I'm going to get on with this video so you guys can understand everything else that's going on in Los Angeles with the riots and everything else.
Oh God, I think I'm gonna be sick. Uh-oh, here we go again. 10, 9, 8, 7. Oh, fuck it, just play the tune.
Well, look, you know, I've always liked Elon, and it's always very surprised. You saw the words he had for me, the words of, and he hasn't said anything about me that's bad. I'd rather have him criticize me than the bill, because the bill is incredible. Remember, he was here for a long time. You saw a man who was very happy when he stood behind the Oval desk, and even with the black eye, I said, "Do you want a little makeup? We'll get you a little makeup." But he said, "No, I don't think so," which is interesting and very nice. He wants to be who he is, so you could make that statement too, I guess. Look, Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore. I was surprised because you were here. Everybody in this room practically was here as we had a wonderful send-off. He said wonderful things about me. You couldn't have nicer. Said the best things. He's worn the hat. Trump was right about everything. But I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem, and he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate, because that's billions and billions of dollars, and it really is unfair. We want to have cars of all types. Electric, we want to have electric, but we want to have a gasoline, combustion. We want to have different. We want to have hybrids. We want to have all. We want to be able to sell everything. And when that was cut, and Congress wanted to cut it, he became a little bit different. And I can understand that. But he knew every aspect of this bill. He knew it better than almost anybody. And he never had a problem until right after he left. And if you saw the statements he made about me, which I'm sure you can get very easily, it's very fresh on tape. He said the most beautiful things about me. And he hasn't said bad about me personally, but I'm sure that'll be next. But I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot.
Mr. President, did he, I just want to clarify, did he raise any of these concerns with you privately before he raised them publicly? And this is the guy you put in charge of cutting spending. Should people not take him seriously about spending now? Are you saying this is all sour grapes?
No, he worked hard and he did a good job. And I'll be honest, I think he misses the place. I think he got out there and all of a sudden he wasn't in this beautiful Oval Office, and he's got nice offices too. He's not the first. People leave my administration and they love us. And then at some point they miss it so badly, and some of them embrace it and some of them actually become hostile. I don't know what it is. It's sort of Trump derangement syndrome, I guess they call it, but we have it with others too. They leave and they wake up in the morning and the glamour's gone, the whole world is different, and they become hostile. I don't know what it is. Someday you'll write a book about it and you'll let us know. Yeah. Well, it's a very sad case. It's a case we win. We can't lose that case because we have the right to make grants. We're not going to make any grants like that. But I don't think Harvard's been acting very nicely. I think Columbia wants to get to the bottom of the problem. They've acted very well. And there are other institutions too that are acting, but Harvard's trying to be a big shot. And all that happens is every 3 days we find another.
Okay, so just a little more to add to this video. So we talked about Fauci's cell phones. They've been found after 5 years of his lies, and now they're analyzing the data on those cell phones during the pandemic. Might not seem like a big deal now, but let's find out what was on there. Like I said, we know Anthony Fauci's an evil man. You saw on the Army flatbed military rail car that was transporting those Abrams tanks for the 250th Army birthday celebration in Washington, D.C., and it said, "Hang Fauci and Bill Gates." And now all of a sudden we've got Bill Gates is donating so many billions of dollars. He's trying to make late moves here, and I don't know, something's about to happen, but the time of reckoning is coming for these guys, these pawn scum, specifically those two, but many more. You've got the illegals from Mexico are in our country making all this money, and they are sending a lot of the money they are making back to the Mexican government to the tune of $64 billion, according to the War Room. If you ever look at that on YouTube, under Steve Bannon's War Room, that's what they're saying. $64 billion roundabout is what a lot of these illegal immigrants are making, and they are sending that back to the Mexican government. So that's more than they get off their oil fields and stuff like that. So Trump is onto it, and you know they're going to shut that money supply off. And there's a lot of action going on, especially in Los Angeles, Tampa, other cities. It's going to pick up. It's going to get a little worse, but you want to know how to disperse an insurrection? Send 700 Marines after him. Pissed off Marines who usually do detail that's like pulling weeds like this out of gravel. I've done it before, you know, but they do it a lot more than what the Army guys do. They just look for stuff to do when there's downtime and stuff. But, you know, you send 700 Marines out there and you send 4,000 National Guard troops who are basically given police powers right now when it comes to this insurrection crowd. And we're finding out that the mayor of Los Angeles, Gavin Newsom, isn't doing anything. They're not doing anything at all. In fact, they're encouraging it. And we're seeing videos of Gavin Newsom coming out saying, "Oh yeah, arrest me right now, arrest me." Well, don't worry, your day of reckoning will come if you're doing illegal things. I think that he stole that election too, like a lot of elections have been stolen. It's no doubt about it. We talked about it in France with Emmanuel Macron. You know, Candace Owens, if you subscribe to her channel, she's been coming out and saying that Brigitte Macron is a man. We've seen that time and time again. I mean, look at Michelle Obama. People will say it's a conspiracy theory. It's not true. Well, it's true. A lot of people know about it. Michelle Obama's a man. Brigitte Macron is probably a man. They're pissed off at Candace Owens for saying it, but it's probably true. And, you know, there are high-profile rumors that Barbara Bush was a man later in life. So, and there's some video that possibly supports that too. So, are they all just conspiracy theories? Well, that's up for you guys to decide. That's what we do, is we kind of analyze and look into everything. You know, you believe what you want to believe. You don't have to believe everything. It's fine. But at the end of the day, you see what's going on in our country, and the insurrection's about to get shut down. Those people need to take their butts on home. And with Musk and Trump, that whole feud, we have video, I'll show it to you right after this, where Trump's got the black eye, and I kind of asked people, I said, is this panda eyes? Well, Trump comes out in a video, and I'm going to play it for you, and he says, well, I asked Elon if he wanted makeup to cover his black eye, and he said no, and he said, I thought that was really interesting. He just wants to be who he is. Well, what exactly does that mean? You know, I mean, we've seen Hollywood celebrity, a lot of people, when they have that black eye, it symbolizes panda eyes, and that's sexual molestation of children. Now, is Elon Musk doing that? Maybe not. I don't know. But you have to understand, he does have a black eye, and he is doing some weird things with his head. We've seen it before. We've seen it with the presidential inauguration. We've seen it how many times where he's just like looking all over and looks like he's not even here, like he's a robot or something. So, I don't know. I've told you guys, I've personally never liked Elon. I do like what he did as far as Doge. He did find and expose a lot of corruption with the money. And Trump does say he did a good job with that. But we'll see. I mean, Elon Musk wants to come out and say Trump's in the Epstein files. Well, we all know if that was the case, he would have done been not allowed to run for president. They would have gone so hard after Trump, he'd have been in prison. So we know that that's not really true. I mean, technically on the surface, yes, because he's on the flight log, but even Elon Musk himself says it was never proven he flew to Epstein Island. Well, you've got Barack Obama seen in a canoe with George Clooney, and there's this little Taiwanese girl about 2 or 3 years old, and you can clearly see that picture of what's going on. And without getting too graphic into detail, these men are sick, and that's been going on for a long time, and the truth will come out. You know, Barack Obama's a very sick man. He was a homosexual who married a man who turned transgender. He lied about his nationality. He wasn't from the United States of America. His real name wasn't even Barack Obama. It was Barry Soetoro, just like Candace Owens has been saying. It's all been true. I've been saying it for a long time on this channel. People don't want to believe it. They don't want to believe that they could be lied to on such a grand scale. Well, you know, if you look at Barack Obama's autobiography that he wrote in Chicago back in, I think, 2013, you can start to put the pieces together that there's a lot of fabrication and lies in that novel he wrote, or that autobiography. So, yeah, he's a very sick man, but that's okay. If you don't want to believe it right now, just rest in the knowledge that the truth will eventually come out on a lot of these things. So if you people want to believe that Trump was involved with Epstein, hey, let time play out, watch what happens, because he's doing a lot more than Biden ever did, and he's trying to erase the mistakes of open borders Biden for the last 4 years of letting all these insurrectionists in, and we've had all these problems with illegal gang members. Look at Colorado, look at everywhere, and it's time to get them out of the country, and if it takes the military to do it, so be it. I'll be a part of that. So one more note is Christy Walton. She is Walmart, they call her the heiress. She's one of the children of Sam Walton when he passed away. And she's now paying for riot ads. It's called No Kings, and it's all over the news now. In the last day, people are catching on. Well, Trump is going to go after these people paying for these riots to happen and funding for them. It's not just the FBI and Dan Bongino and Kash Patel going after them. Dan Bongino, I believe, is now deputy director, and Kash Patel's over all of it. It's not just the FBI going after these people who are funding for these riots, it's also many other organizations. So maybe come this fall, you're going to hear a lot of noise and ruckus about these people who are funding for this stuff. I'm telling you, you people who are anti-Trump and who are funding for this stuff, if you don't like it, leave now. Stop rioting and just leave this country and go somewhere else, because that is the best choice that you have. If you're truly unhappy, then leave. Seriously, like I'm not speaking with hatred. I'm just saying, if you don't like it here and you don't like him, then don't be a part of this country and just go back to where your ancestors came from. You know, my ancestors are from Germany, but I'll be honest, I love what's going on in America right now. I support this. I wouldn't have signed up for this in 2018 if it wasn't for Donald Trump. And a lot of people have attacked me over the years on that. They said, oh, you're signing up for a convicted felon. Yeah. I don't believe this stuff is all true. And even if it was, the Stormy Daniels stuff, you got to consider the source. She's a porn star, dude. I'm not saying the guy's perfect. I never said he was perfect. But look at what he's doing right now. He's helping. What did Biden do? He opened our borders. He let all the trash in. And now we've got to deal with it. So one more note is, I don't know if they're trolling Biden falling down the steps of Air Force One, because Trump stumbled a little bit and everybody attacked him. The media said, oh, he almost face planted. No, he did not. My goodness, I've stumbled over stairs a little bit before, and they're all attacking us, saying, oh, you conservatives, man, you all bashed Biden when he fell down. Well, let's be very clear. Biden tripped 3 times down the steps. Trump stumbled just a little bit. Everybody in their life, I've done it, has stumbled over stairs a little bit. And then what, the next day, Marco Rubio, who used to be the senator for Florida, is now in Trump's administration. He stumbles up the steps a little bit. So I think that either he's doing it because he's got Trump's back, or they're just trolling Joe Biden. I don't know. They seem to really be playing the media with the whole Elon Musk thing. Maybe this is all staged and the Democrats are falling for it and they're taking the bait. I don't know. But all you can do is wait and let it all play out. And we will see what we will see. And until then, as always, Godspeed, everybody.